fill his shoes. And I thank you for that, Roger. Please come on.
Roger.
Break dance.
Yeah, it's pretty much as scary as I thought it was going to be. So I'll start off by being really transparent. Like when people ask me to do a testimony, I immediately get like this anxiety about it. One, because I don't like talking in front of a lot of people, and two, because I just don't like talking about myself. But then I get this conviction really quick. I get this humble in my spirit, this humility that says it's not about me at all, right? It never was. That it's about God. It's about God's grace. It's about God loving me and not giving up on me when all the evidence shows that I've given up on myself, right? It's about God's ability to take a broken and lost person like me and put him back in the community as a servant, as a leader, as a consistent employee, you know, and as a son to his parents, as a brother to his sister, and as an uncle that I was supposed to be in the first place. It's about God doing for me what I couldn't do for myself and what I didn't know I needed to do for myself. But yeah, so when I get that in mind, it kind of changes my perspective on speaking in front of people. And God's done a lot for me. Before Nehemiah, I was just addicted to a lot of alcohol and methamphetamine. My only drive was solely just to feed my body this consistent substance. That was my only purpose. That was it. You know, I didn't have anything else. I sacrificed my family. I sacrificed relationships, my future, school. I sacrificed everything that God had blessed me with just so I can constantly fuel my addiction. And I lost track of time, and I spent over a decade doing that. And I didn't realize it. I'll say one thing. When I got sober this time, I realized that my best life was ahead of me, as long as I stayed sober. And that didn't mean that every day is going to be perfect, because it's definitely not. But I still believe 100% that God makes it possible to have my best life ahead of me, and for each and every one of the guys that I work with. Man, he puts us on a path that I would have never even strived to achieve. I never even thought was possible. So I came to Nehemiah several times, and I just wasn't trying to get right. I didn't want to admit that I had a problem. Colonel Lewis's cuts didn't cut me at all because of my pride. And several times I went back out and used while I was on passes, and then I would come back, and they would still not only let me stay, but tell me to stay. I would be like, "You're not going to kick me out." Colonel Lewis was like, "Sit your butt down somewhere." And man, it was then like that amount of love and grace just kind of overwhelms me, and I don't know how to receive it, right? Yeah, so that was that, man. I went to this place. It showed me how to be a man. It showed me how to be consistent. It showed me the value of being transparent and being honest with the people that God's putting in your life, and trusting them if I really trust God, right? And so doing that, I grew a lot. I grew more, and that gave me a firm foundation to move out into community. Like was mentioned before, I don't stay in the sober living now. I've been blessed. I have a job in Rockwall. I live out there. Colonel was right. I'm already mumbling. I get so overwhelmed. I don't know where to start. God's grace has been so good in my life. I was not consistent with jobs. I was settling for whatever job would kind of just feed my addiction, right? Mostly manual and general labor jobs. That's all I could get. I wasn't trying to take on a trade. I enrolled in community college one time and got my grant money and burned off and do what we do. You know, I just was not consistent with anything. Through God's grace, I've been certified. I'm a physical trainer now. I've been on that path for about 1.5 years now, through one of the hardest curriculums there is. It's not just your general bottom curriculum, it's NASM, National Academy of Sports and Medicine, which if anyone knows anything about fitness, it is the hardest curriculum. It's the gold standard of personal training. I think each and every one of the people here who puts into this place and sober living with their prayers, with their finances, with your mentoring and sponsoring, because if it wasn't for everything that I received while I was in sober living, I would not have been able to pass that thing. Y'all gave me peace of mind when I came home. Y'all gave me a roof over my head, plenty of counseling and wisdom and good examples of people who continue to do the right thing while going through what they were going through. And because of that, and seeing that demonstrated, and knowing that it was possible to push through hard times and go to work and go to school and be consistent and take care of your family, I was like, okay, I can do this. But it was just the love and support that I had here at that place that allowed me to get to where I'm at now in life. You know, and so I got certified. I have a job. I had a job actually before I got the certification already at a gym as a manager. So yeah, God's blessed me tremendously. But I mean, a job's a job. We all have to work that. That's nothing compared to the relationship that I have with Christ now. So I learned about being a servant over here, and now I got a new church family, a home church. Colonel Lewis always pointed out, and it never left me. This is where we worship, and this is where we praise and get sober. But we were to go out and find our own home church, and I took that and ran with it. And I think they'd say I'm a pretty consistent servant over there. I'm actually the leader in the life recovery group over there. We have a life recovery group, and I'm the leader over there. I prefer to call it a servant's role because that's what it is. And then I'm also a leader in regeneration over there. So, in which I started over here. I first learned about regeneration over here. I wasn't ready for it. God put it back in my life again at the home church, and so. But I skipped that to come over here today because Rand called me. And I know this is important. This is where my roots are, and I'll never forget that. To y'all guys just going through it, it's worth it. Words can't give it what it means, man. It gets difficult at times, but there are more benefits with sobriety and your relationship with Christ than what a person can put into words. You know, you can't put into words the feeling you get, the character growth you get when you're part of another man's journey, and he gets to come home to his parents, and you get to raise his rock bottom so that he doesn't have to go through the crap that you put your family through. You know, there's no words for that. It's not about money. Colonel Lewis always says, it never left me, man. If you can touch it, it's not from God. And I love that because the character growth that I've got, the value that I have with myself, I can trust myself today. You know, I'm glad that people can trust me, but that's not my purpose. I'm glad that I can trust myself, you know. Another thing that Colonel Lewis taught me is that all I really got is my cry before God. And I take that to heart. Like, that's all. Everything else can fall apart. My car falls apart all the time. You know? But I stay with that genuineness with God. You know, if I'm angry, I let him know. If I'm sad, I let him know. If I'm ungrateful, I'd rather let him know and let him convict me and get humbled and get back on the beam again than try to hide it and wear a mask. You know? Yeah, I love this place, and you know, I haven't been around here consistently in a few years, but I'll never forget the lessons that Colonel and Major Woods taught me. You know, I remember coming into the room, and if you have some type of mask on, if you're going through something and you're hiding it, you better just go to the restroom. And the Colonel's going to call you out on it really quick, and I love that. You know, and I hear Colonel's voice in my head all the time. It's hilarious. I thank God for this place, and I thank God for y'all, man. Like, you encourage me, and I'm so excited to see y'all every time y'all worship. I love watching y'all online. It lifts me up when I'm at work in the middle of the day. I love you guys, you know, and if y'all ever need me, just reach out. Y'all see me on Sundays and stuff. There's nothing I won't do. Colonel's gone out of his way above and beyond, and I've seen the value in myself, my own experience of going above and beyond and not just doing the bare minimum. I didn't do the bare minimum on the other side, so why would I do that here now?